Hey guys, Sam here from Landscapeplus. Today we are going to be taking a quick look at the two pump packages that if you ordered a tank and pump set with Landscapeplus, you would likely be receiving one of these two options. Now the first is pump package 1, which would include this one here, which is a fixed intake pump, meaning that the water is taken into the pump through this grid on the bottom here. For that reason, you would only ever want to use this with clean water, not if you're rainwater harvesting. If you are rainwater harvesting, then you will be getting pump package 2. Now the difference, if you look down the bottom here, this one's got a threaded inlet here, that one would thread onto there, and this is a floating intake. So this float would raise up within the tank, and this strainer here would be where the water gets taken into the pipe, in through the pump and out through the top. That means that it's raised up in the tank, meaning it doesn't take in the silt or the debris that might have settled in the bottom of the tank if you are rainwater harvesting. Another part that comes in with our pump package is a M20 gland with a back nut on there, meaning that you can pop a 20mm hole through the tank, and you can then take your cable from your pump out through the wall of the tank. And one thing it's worth noting at this point is both of these have got handles on the top. These are great points for you to put a tether onto the pumps, so a rope or a chain to lower the pump down in. Please, please, please don't lower them in by the cable. That can cause problems with the joint inside the pump. Once you've finished with that, you are then onto the outlet of the pump. Now these are both exactly the same. So you will receive a length of Tricoflex flexible hose. You will then get hose clips. So make sure that one goes over the top of your pipe. You've then got a hose barb. Now this is really, really tight to get into the Tricoflex. So you might want to warm this up slightly. So once that one's gone in there, you would tighten up your hose clip, making sure that is all the way in so that when the pump pushes pressure through the pipe, it's not popping that one off. It's also worth noting at this point that these pumps are pressure stacked. So they have a pressure switch inside them, meaning that you don't need a pump start relay. The pump will sense a drop in pressure. That could be a tap opening or it could be a valve opening, and the pump will kick in. For that reason, you need to make sure that all of your joints are super watertight. If there's any slight leak, the pump may well think that is a valve trying to open and start kicking in. So once you've got your barb onto your pipe, that one would thread into the top of your pump. These ones here do not have an O-ring, so you would need to use the PTFE tape that will come in with your pump package. Make sure you're working away from the thread with that, so that when you're threading it into the top of the pump, it doesn't strip the PTFE tape back off of the thread. Now, one point that people often get caught out with or call our office confused by is when this connector into here, got your PTFE tape on, that it isn't quite done in tight enough and you're getting a slight leak right on the top of the pump. And because this pump is submersible, it's really difficult to tell that there's a water leak there because it's just going straight back into the tank itself. But you would hear the pump would continue to prime. That's it, essentially thinking that a valve is opening somewhere down the line and start pushing water out if there's a slight leak just there. Other end of your Tricoflex is exactly the same. Second hose barb. Make sure you put your hose lamp round first, that one goes into there. And then you've got a couple of options when you're going out of the tank. First thing that stays the same is your tank connector. So that one's got a thread and a little rubber O-ring. The O-ring will sit on the inside of the tank. Then you tighten that one up nicely. Once you've done that, you've got a couple of different options. So you've got 2 swivel elbows and 1 swivel connector. So that means depending on the size, shape of your tank and the application, depending on where your pipework is going, you could go elbow on both sides of the tank connector, or you could come off straight if you need to, or you could have a straight connector on the inside of your tank connector onto an elbow on the outside. Once you are outside of the tank, you are then onto your MDP pipe. So we pop a 32mm push fit connector on there. So this one, your MDP pipe would push into the bottom. There is an O-ring within there, so you'll feel that it sort of catches tension about 1 centimeter in. Make sure you give it a good push past that one and that will seal nicely. Again, with your pipe, make sure it's a nice clean cut. So you will have one of those left over as a spare once you finish this install. So hopefully that answers all the questions you might have about your tank and pump system from Landscapeplus. If you've got any more questions though, please do give our team a call.